So I said, like in relation to what she was saying about higher education and all of that. I told her, I said, by 2030, 49% of black women will be by 2030, 49% of black women will be childless and single with a career. 49%. You know the Caucasians is happy about that.
Well, there's a lot of things, I suppose, that I worry about, but and some of these things will seem esoteric to people. The birth rate is very low in almost every country, and unless that changes, civilization will disappear. America had the lowest birth rate, I believe, ever. That was last year. Places like Korea, the birth rate is 1/3 replacement rate. So that means in 3 generations, Korea will be 3 or 4% of its current size. And nothing seems to be turning that around. Humanity is dying. And people, it's just not something we evolved to react to. And I worry generally about the strength of America. America is the central column that holds up all of Western civilization. So if you've got the temple of Western civilization, America is the central column. If that column fails, it's all over. You can't run off to New Zealand or some other place. It's over. So either we strengthen that column and make sure America is strong and will be strong for a long time, or that roof's coming down.
Because they don't want us producing. They don't want us. They rather see us gay, women with women, men with men, and all of that. Not gay as in happy. It's a form of birth control. So she said, in response to what she said, I find that most successful men have money but don't pray, blah, 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 which is cool. Then she added on to that thought, they have the money but not the heart. In America. Because guys have heart and money over here. We just buried Damien Rich's dad, Mr. McGrowder. He's a wonderful provider. Wonderful provider. He has to provide for at least 100 people through jobs and, family and grandkids, great grandkids, So that's what I said. In America, you know what I mean? You stay stuck in America, but there's a whole planet, 196,944,000 square miles of this planet that, belongs to the black man. We the creator, owner, maker, cream of the planet Earth, father of civilization, God of the universe. Cass ain't ready for the last one. So I said, in America, she said she liked in America. In response, they love the money, they have the money, but not the heart. I said, in America. And she liked in America. So I told her, once the women figure out they need men, it might help.
You ladies got to get your shit together. This is not a game that you can take lightly anymore. This economy coming up is going to make life very, very difficult for a lot of you. The calls are starting to come in with women now who are having problems financially. You're going to start seeing a massive uptick on TikTok of women who have lost their jobs or women who can't find jobs. We've already started seeing a few, but it's going to get significantly worse.
You describe men in a negative light in this thread, like so many women do now. And I said, referring to Jamaica, women need men here. Women need men here in Jamaica, and men need women here. So it's the balance. The balance is here, She said, pardon the context. I'm speaking about males. In response to, I said, I know that's right. I agree with that. Then I said, America has collapsed. Only Americans don't see it. Yes, black people will be fine. We just have to unite before we are forced to. And I'm really thinking in the mind of black women, because yeah, everything's fine with the police, you know, like the system of America, like, yeah, black women are fine and, you know, can go to work safely, come home safely, have their own apartment and all of that. But, you know, when the I want to say structure, but what they call it, I forget what they call it, but when the mechanisms that make America collapses, when you can't pay all police to come to work, like what happened in Hurricane Katrina, and people not going to work at the gun making factory, and the whole infrastructure, that's the word I was looking for, the whole infrastructure collapses. It's the men that's going to survive, and the single woman is going to need somebody, a brother, uncles, cousins, something, because now, you know, the police aren't coming to save you, they're not coming to save your problems, and women are going to have to submit to the original structure of how God created the heavens, which is the sun and the earth. She said, pardon the context. I'm speaking about males. In response to, I said, you describe men in a negative light in this thread, like do so many women, so do many women do now. So she was like, I'm speaking about males, not men. Most of the men I call a friend are good fathers, especially my brother. Her brother's wife or baby mother is treated well. On the other hand, I've dated men. You see what I'm saying? Like when you get married young, you know what I mean? It's like women ain't referring to, I've dated men. Like, you know what I mean? She be like, yo, I have, like me and my husband been together for so long. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's sad, yo. It's sad. On the other hand, I have dated men with money, property, education, etc. Why none of them just like, yo, I'm gonna make you my wife? I've dated men with money, property, educated, etc., and don't have a religion or spiritual practice, or never went to get help. Yeah, them horrible men you be dealing with. A lot of brothers don't have good relationships with their parents or siblings. Another men's problem again. And so if most men come from single moms, like whose responsibility is that? And it's not always the father's, responsibility, because a lot of the women use that as to torture the man, not making it easy for him to provide for his kids. Some of them tell their kids that their father's dead, like Tupac moms told Tupac, you know what I mean, his father dead. And his father, you know what I mean, and she just upped and left and moved to the West Coast, while the man was there in Jersey, a Black Panther. Couldn't find Tupac until he seen the nigga, like, you know what I mean, on TV. You know what I mean? Movies, like, yeah, that's my son. So soon as Tupac got popped and all of that, he went to the hospital. That's where they relinked in the hospital. So Tupac like, who this? Mommy said you was dead. But that's a whole nother story to get into. But she said a lot of brothers don't have good relationships with their parents or siblings. So it's the man's fault again. You know what I mean? It's the man's fault that they're not there, right? like the woman is so correct in her ways that it's always the man's fault, and sometimes it's the woman's fault completely. She's stopping the man from being with his child. Then she says, a solid family background is what I want for my daughter and her future. Then she said, if you don't rock with the ancestors, we can't rock with you. Woo, man. What you think about that? Leave a comment, like, subscribe, and let's talk about it in the comments. I'm going to put a link of 10 do's and don'ts every man must know before dating in 2025. I'll leave a link in the description so you can check it out. What started this whole conversation.
P Funk City G.